Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to show you a quick overview of Verizon FiOS. Once again, I am not a paid sponsor of Verizon. I just love their service so much. And I just want to show you guys what is it you're going to expect. Maybe you have in your area and you're not sure really what to expect at all. So this is a bit of a general overview. Now generally, this is the typical install for most. I'll warn you guys too. I'm going to talk more in depth about the technology. What does it even do in a separate video, but this is just a general overview of the equipment. In most installations in an apartment complex, they will almost always install this box here they call the ONT. And this is where your fiber comes in and converts to coax, phone, and internet. Even if the closet is on the other side of the room, they will run the fiber optic across the room and put it in the closet because it looks the nicest, pretty much. So that is the reasoning around it. So you'll see the fiber optic comes in here. It runs around the whole apartment complex. I'll show you. Alright, so, and then it runs from all the way up there, and they kind of conceal it. The installers will put in this thick jacket, so it kind of keeps it protected. What we're going to do when we renovate the condo is we're going to pretty much take this out of a jacket and just use like an epoxy and keep it flat down in here because we know we're going to keep this. It's good. It's really good. So you'll see they run all the way down here and into the closet. And you can see real close here. It's a really thin cable. It's got some sturdiness to it, but again, we're not gonna play with that because that thing's very expensive to repair. And here's the closet. All right, I took the liberty of turning on the light. This is the ONT. Before it was a gray box, but we got upgraded to gigabit, so they gave us this brand new ONT, all black. It's not metal, it's all plastic. I've seen this on most installs now. So this is what you're going to expect to get. At least it is in New York City, so yeah, it's really cool stuff. Here you go. The fiber goes in from here. They kind of tried burying it inside the carpet a little bit. So when you do upgrades, I can't stress enough, you have to be careful with this. I don't know how much they charge for repair, but they might put the blame on you if you did anything around the vicinity and didn't tell like your, whoever's tiling or putting floors, then you're still liable for that kind of stuff. Not that guy. So the fiber optic goes, they wrapped it around here. It was a lot cleaner in the older ONTs, but I'm not complaining. I mean, it is what it is. They might have just done this for cheap. Yeah, this is not metal, this is plastic, so they might have done that for cost saving. This is a brand new ONT. I mean, the old one was a lot bigger. There's the power brick. The fiber optic goes in from there, loops around, because God forbid that you need more cable, or if this one was yanked out, then it was supposed to just not fly out, but it goes into here. So again, I'll talk about the fiber optic in another video, but this is basically what to expect. All your connections are down here. You've got, let's see, here is the fiber optic in, right there. This is your cable TV, which we'll talk about in a second. I want to take care of the internet first. This is your Ethernet. This is not required, but I'm going to talk about more of that in a second once I get to the internet. It's optional unless you get the gigabit, let's put it that way. Here's the phone jacks, and we have a power cord here. I'm sorry, this is the power here, and this is a cable TV line in, and this is grounding. So basically, to keep the coax from making a noise, or any electrocution. So if there was a lightning bolt and there was this would help with that. So you have a little grounding to protect your equipment. We did have phone, as you could see. We had at one point we actually required to use it for this condo because they require when you call in from downstairs, they ring into a phone line, so they have to have a phone line. We had a triple play, but we actually saved money by upgrading to the Uma phone. I highly recommend it. I mean, we're using those old bulky Panasonic phones, and this is a lot cooler, little LCD display. There's the box for Uma. I'll talk about these guys in a separate video because they're really good. Let's put it that way. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, but they're a good alternative when you don't want to spend the money. Put it this way, the money we saved from switching from a triple play to a double play, we were able to get gigabit internet, so it was a pretty good upgrade. Now, for the cable TV, the cable goes out here. The cable goes out here, and again, it uses the same technology as the cable. So, yeah, you guys may think that's not, hey, it's fiber to the home. Why is it not like internet-based? The good thing is you could use a TiVo with Verizon FiOS, and it's a lot better picture quality. So, gives you the same benefits from cable. We have it all wrapped around here. We're waiting for the IPTV transition, but I guess Verizon kind of canceled that out, so we're kind of SOL. What we decided to do was just use an Apple TV in the second room, but I want to show you guys what it's like here. We have a Logitech Harmony remote for the universal controlling. This is a remote that Verizon gives you. They have a universal remote, but it's not that great. Basically, there's some issues with it can only power things on and off, and it can't control other devices like the Xbox we have here. So we've got this. Controls the volume of our DVD system, DVD surround sound. Control the Xbox, and this is the interface. I mean, hang on. Hit the guide button. This is the guide you get. They've changed it a lot over the years, but this isn't most up to date. Really clean, fluent interface. Very fast. I mean, very, very fast. So it's the way the channel lineup is set up, and I know people are going to complain, oh, it's too much, it's annoying, my cable provider was better. Well, this is better than cable, so shut up. Anything under 500 is standard definition. Anything above 500 is high definition. Pretty standard. I think sometimes so let's say Fox is on 100 for standard, it'll be 600 for high definition. So it's just, you just add 500 and you have the high def channel. Really can't say much about that. I mean, there's a cool thing. If you hit guide again, you get the other mini guide, which is really cool. So when you scroll left and right, you can go by channel. That's kind of cool. And then on the right, it shows you what's showing for that channel. It's kind of convenient for some people if you only want to know if you don't want to see the whole guide, but just a little bit. It shows the info on the right. File look on the top. Yes. Shows a bigger picture on the bottom on the left. This is the channel banner. It's a nice, very clean, very professional, suave interface. I love it. I love it. DVR will not work. Basically, I guess this is a standard high def box. There's no DVR built in. And I think that the newer boxes are the same. They might have Netflix built in on the newer. If you have the newer multi-room DVR, I think it's called Quantum TV from Verizon, you do get Netflix built in. I think you might have to have DVR service for that. I'm not sure if that's an extra charge. That's convenient because Netflix is built right in, but again, we're not too crazy with TV. We're not going to have. So that's the standard run-of-the-mill interface. This is the menu button. It's also, you're really never going to see this unless you go to on demand a lot. I think it's still pretty cool though. So you got all of your quick info. Well, I love it. I mean, this only goes to up to 1080i, just like cable, but I mean, we've had this TV and then TV in the next room. We brought over from Cablevision, and it's remarkable. I mean, the picture quality was just that great. You notice it immediately. Even my parents and I, who don't have the greatest of eyesight, we were able to say, this picture is great. So, yeah, that is the Verizon FiOS TV setup. This is the Verizon FiOS box. They have a newer, slimmer one, but again, this is your run-of-the-mill standard def if you don't have the DVR service. I don't like the newer boxes, but again, it's fine. I have this. You don't have crazy DVR service. I think if you were to get, if you're more tech savvy, I would probably recommend a TiVo. I think it's more bang for your buck. You have built-in more options for DVR, and the search is a lot better. So you could have the universal search season pass, and it does more for you. But you know, if you're just average, hey, I don't really care, I just want it to work, the standard equipment is just fine. But if you have like a cable card equipped device, like a TiVo, a computer, or one of those older TVs, that'll work. Which is sort of like cable cards. Who even cares about that anymore, right? I'll talk about that in a separate video. But I'm gonna shut this off, and we're gonna go to the internet portion. I talked about the phone, and now we're gonna talk about the internet. This is the brand spanking new box you get from Verizon, the router, the Quantum router. Now you notice down here that there were two options. If you go to the back of it, you're gonna see that there is an option for coax, power, Ethernet in, and 4 Ethernet out, USB ports. I don't believe you can hook up a printer to it or a hard drive. I don't recommend you ever do that because that can reduce your internet speed. So if you're just buying a router for all-in-one, hey, I can print from my router, don't do that. It's one of the worst. You're gonna downgrade your performance. It's stupid. What do I talk about first? You have the option of using the Ethernet or the coax from the ONT, and you're probably gonna say, oh, I can use my cable box. I can buy a cable modem and be done with it. This is not the same cable modem used with Comcast. This is something called Mocha. It uses a completely different standard from Cablevision or Comcast or Spectrum, or I call Shitcast. It's Comcast. Do not use it with this. That's called DOCSIS. This is Mocha. Don't worry about the terminology. Just know that it's separate. You don't need this router unless you have the Verizon FiOS TV. So I know that there's a rental charge. Sometimes you can get it waived. But yeah. So the way that it works from the ONT, you could use either or. You can use Ethernet or coax. It doesn't matter if you honestly are just like, hey, I'm old, I need email. Coax is just fine. If you play video games or if you are subscribed to gigabit internet, the Verizon gigabit like us, you're gonna want the they're gonna make you put the Ethernet port from here onto the ONT down there. So, which was unfortunate. We had this in the next room through coax, so we had to move it here for the gigabit. It's really fine. I like it better. You actually get lower latency if you play video games a lot, so that's one thing I really like about. But bear that in mind, they're going to run another cable. They're going to run 2 cables to your router, so that's a bit of a downside. If your office is upstairs, and I mean, if you don't want to move a bunch of cables around, you could just run another Ethernet cable like this and hook up a 5-port switch in your office and be done with it. But again, I'm going to tell you why you do want to use wired than wireless. So, besides the point, yeah, I didn't really need this at all, but the fact that I have cable, the boxes from Verizon, that requires internet from the modem through the coax. So basically what this is doing is it's backfeeding the Ethernet internet signal through the coax to the cable box. But again, you know, that's cool and all, and that's, if you were to get a TiVo, you don't need this at all. You don't even, I recommend this box a lot, actually. I know some people are going to say, oh, internet provided routers are shit. I got to tell you something, this box is insanely good, and I can't say that about any other ISP router. when I hooked up my Xbox to this router, you have to worry about, NAT forwarding. It was always an issue since the Xbox 360. Is your router NAT compatible? Their NAT is being blocked. The only other router in the world that I purchased that could not need that retarded configuration was the WRT54G. That's like an old relic. That thing was, everyone recommended it. And since then, every other router has been shit. But this router can do that. You don't need to do any port forwarding. This thing works out of the box with the 360 or the Xbox One. Fantastic. It's amazing. So I recommend this router. The Wi-Fi performance could be a little lackluster because it's all built in. And I heard a bunch of techs say that the antenna configuration is all on the very top. So honestly, buy this router, save the hassle, and buy a Ubiquiti Unify AP. Those things are bomb. They're great. I'll try to make a video on that too, but let me talk to you about the routing. I had to work from home. It was a snow day. Let me just turn off the so yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a bit of a cool trick with the FiOS. So what does it really mean? Why do you even care about FiOS at all? Like, again, if you are the average consumer who wants to save money or doesn't give a shit about many things, fine. You don't need FiOS. But if you're like me and you work from home, or you also play video games, or you also upload YouTube videos, you need FiOS. There's no secret about it. And another thing, you do not want to do wireless. So this is my internet speed test with Cablevision, with Optimum. They upgraded our internet a couple times, so that was kind of cool. But basically, we get this much speed, this much upload. This is the latency. That's pretty much how fast it goes from the server to here. That's how slow it is. 14 milliseconds isn't bad, but we can do better. I've usually gone higher. Jitter is the worst thing you should ever know. You shouldn't ever have to have jitter, but we're not a perfect world. What jitter is the difference between your latency. So you might get a packet of 2 seconds, and then you get the next one at 5 seconds. That's a difference of 3 milliseconds. That's bad. If you do a lot of phone calls from home, if you do a lot of video games from home, you do not want jitter. This is pretty high. Well, maybe not that high, but we can do better. So I'm going to show you guys real quick. I did a bunch of speed tests. And let me show you the most recent ones. So this is the one done with Verizon. It's still pretty high, the jitter. The speed, this is after the gigabit internet. So the latency is a lot lower, 8 millisecond. That's really good. But the jitter it's still low. I mean, it's not bad. It's a lot better than cable. But I'm gonna let you in a little secret. This is on Wi-Fi. I paid for gigabit internet. We're not getting those speeds. This is on Wi-Fi, and this has a 3x3 wireless AC Intel chip. So this should be doing good. But this is an apartment complex, so I'm hardwired now, and I'm gonna show you guys the difference that you get with the gigabit. I don't know why the latency is a little higher, but the jitter, 0.3 millisecond. And I'm talking like a nerd, but I mean, you can, I was having an issue with Wi-Fi. I was trying to do phone calls on my computer through remote desktop. I couldn't. It was too staticky. When I hooked it up to hardwired, you can note the jitter is low. The phone calls were working. I could do phone calls from my computer for work. Because I work in help desk, I have to do, I have to work from home for this blizzard. And look at this. The speed is incredible. You're not going to get 1 gigabit. That's an issue. That's a flaw with the Ethernet standard. But that's so high. That's so high. Again, it's not for everybody, but I hope this kind of shows you guys the benefits of Verizon FiOS. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, concerns, and yeah, have a good one.